The topic of impeachment came up, which makes a lot of sense because there is a divide within Democrats as to whether or not just going after Trump with an impeachment inquiry is apparently something worth debating. So what does Beto O'Rourke think about impeachment? Does he agree that with Nancy Pelosi in not pursuing impeachment? Well, here's his answer.
We should begin impeachment proceedings against Donald Trump. Not something that I take lightly. It's an incredibly serious, sober decision that we should make as a country. Really, the last resort when every other option has failed us. And at this point, where the president has refused to respond to any subpoena, where his attorney general will not testify, where he will not furnish other witnesses so that we can find out what happened to this great democracy in 2016 and how we prevent future attacks in 2020 and beyond. A president who invited the involvement of a foreign power in this democracy in 2016 and did everything in his power to obstruct the investigation into what has happened. If we do nothing because we are afraid of the polls or the politics or the repercussions in the next election, then we will have set a precedent for this country that in fact, some people, because of the position of power and public trust that they hold, are above the law.
So his answer is obviously a lot stronger than what we've heard from Democratic leadership.
Yeah.
So that's something.
So that's a super low bar. Let me give you guys some context there. Today, Steve Cohen, representative from Tennessee, came out and said 80 to 90% of the Judiciary Committee is already ready for impeachment. In fact, he said there's only 2 Democrats out of 24 that are not. So I can do the math on that. That's more than 90%. And so why are they not pursuing impeachment if the Judiciary Committee, which is the committee that should decide that, is massively in favor of it? Well, because obviously Democratic leadership is blocking it. And so that's Nancy Pelosi. So she sent Jim Clyburn out on TV. And you know what he said? So he's part of Democratic leadership. And he said, we have to take our time. We don't want to rush impeachment. What are we waiting for? I mean, like, you want to impeach him in his 3rd term? Well, like, it's almost over. Like, really? What do you think we're rushing?
A war on Iran.
Yeah, and it's madness. And then they say, well, it could impede us talking about other priorities. First of all, what's stopping you? Get on TV and talk about other priorities. Second of all, you're not doing any other priorities.
Right.
Literally. I mean, you're blocking Medicare for all, you're blocking $15 minimum wage, you're blocking every progressive priority. So you got plenty of free time on your hands. So if you were doing those things, hey, like Jake, Anna, all of you guys, I'm in the middle of trying to pass Medicare for all, so I don't have time for impeachment. I'm like, whoa, I'm gonna hear you out on that, right?
Sure.
But you're not doing anything anyway. So it's all nonsense. So I like Beto's answer, it's strong, like Elizabeth Warren's, etc. But then when they asked him about Nancy Pelosi, and then he was like, well, I understand and respect that, blah, 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 blah. Oh, God damn it. He ruined it with the Nancy Pelosi follow-up.
He said that impeachment proceedings should start now. Nancy Pelosi, the House Speaker, says that the president, impeaching the president would be very divisive in the country and would only help the president solidify his base. Do you think there's something to that?
I do. I understand the political implications of this, but I think this moment calls for us to look beyond the politics and the polling and even the next election. It's the very sanctity of the ballot box and the very future of the world's greatest democracy. And if this is important to us, and I think it is, then we need to look past those short-term consequences to the consequences to the future of this country. And the only way that we're gonna get the documents and the facts and the truth to be able to pursue them as far as they go, as high up as they reach, is to compel the testimony, the furnishing of those documents through impeachment proceedings. It's the only way that we're gonna get to the facts necessary to have that accountability and justice.
You know what that tells me? That, look, if you actually care about your position, you'd say, I really respect Nancy Pelosi, although I wouldn't even bother saying that, but I really respect Nancy Pelosi, but I totally disagree with her. I think we can pursue both of these things, and I don't know what's stopping them. But the fact that he won't say that is what leads me to think, if he's the president, he's not gonna do anything. Because the minute Nancy Pelosi or Chuck Schumer say no, he's gonna be like, okay. 2 easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below, then you're a TYT subscriber. And second is ring the bell. And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.